Hello, and welcome to our weekly Genlock review and discussion on Anime Dumpster Dive. As always, I am your host, Jake H. Joining me today is my co-host, Anthony.
Hello!
And we welcome back Coby from the Nerd Blaze for the finale.
Hello! That's just my best attempt. Anthony does it so well. I don't think I didn't match that very well. Next time.
Next time, Coby, there is no next
finale.
time. This is the finale.
What? Are you?
This
what?
Is the
Oh
finale.
god, that changes everything. I thought we had more time.
And what a finale it was. There was, I think it's the longest episode, right? With clocking in at 31 minutes, but I think that's adding in the end credits, so it's probably the same amount of actual action in it.
Right. I think this one was 31. I think the first episode was 32.
Well, careful, Anthony. You definitely want to get your facts right, or else.
Oh, that's 100% true. That's very true. But I mean, that being said, we get a lot. We get a lot of things wrong.
Basically, everything I say is wrong.
So. Basically, and when it comes down to it, but man, oh man, does it? It doesn't make us less of a fan, of the show, and the small criticisms that we dish out. I want to just point out that they're in no way supposed to be, genuine criticisms that are at the detriment of the show itself. The small things that we kind of point out when we're going through our reviews and stuff like that, it's just simply a couple of fans getting together and saying, hey, this show is pretty great. The first episode was 32 minutes, and this episode was 31. Yeah. So, factually speaking...
Well, that seems like this one factually fact.
It is the second longest episode.
Yeah, with an 11-minute end credits. So let's not give it too much.
That's very true. Yeah. But man, oh man, what a finale!
Yeah,
what a finale!
Exactly.
And I, like I just said, I say this as genuinely as I possibly can. I love this show. It subverted my expectations in the best ways possible, and I can't wait to talk about them with my friends.
Aww.
That's you guys.
Me, Coby. Sorry about me.
He said friends. He said plural. There's two of us.
All right, so let's go ahead and let's just get into the show. We have that really cool action sequence, which is our Genlock team versus Nemesis, upgraded, which I thought was cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, so cool.
I like that, again, going off of what Holcroft said last episode, that the Union likes to steal ideas, that they went and they gave their chase, jets.
I want to do that engineer who just that one has jets? Yeah, I come up with a brilliant new idea, guys. Let's put jets on our guy, too, to make him bigger.
Geez, Kevin, where'd you get that idea? Nowhere. I came up with it myself.
What are you talking about? Chase zooms by.
Oh, I liked it. It definitely is a fitting thing. Like what I said too, man. We get a lot of things wrong, and I didn't think that it was ending here. I didn't think that the Nemesis fight was going to end in the way that it did. But I want to say that there's an implication
that there's more than one Nemesis.
Yeah, Nemesis plural.
Nemesis.
Mooses.
Yeah, I don't know what to do. It's put his face copy.
Yeah. It was cool though.
That battle was just overall just incredible. I know from the start I was always saying I need more character development. I need all this stuff like this. And that Coby is dead. Give me that Coby. This one's just give me a 12-minute action sequence on a rotating circle crane dockyard thing. It's I'm happy. That was great.
Oh yeah, seriously, and they present it to you in such a way too that to kind of jump onto Coby's thought process here, that as far as the character development goes, I think that it's pretty developed at this point. They demonstrate so many different points, during the fight itself. Chase's apprehension that we've seen literally all season long. And then him overcoming that goal and becoming essentially, this kind of protagonist that we needed him to stand up to Nemesis. And then same thing goes with like Kazu and Valentina, and I feel like Kazu's definitely accepted this masculine type of role within Genlock, and Cammy overcoming fears via some mods. So.
I really like that line where she goes, I haven't changed my fear mod. And then he shows up and she goes, let me change my fear mod real quick.
I think you'll allow it.
I also like when they, like, again, I don't know what the official thing is called. We're calling it melding. When they, like, melded and their combo attacks, like, just give me fight sequences of combo attacks. Like, Kazu throws his, like, sword in the air and Cammy stomps it down. And I was like,
so cool.
Coolest scene.
Like, that's the coolest. I thought that was the coolest moment in the fight scene out of a fight full of really cool moments. I mean, just the animation style and the energy of that fight, of that huge fight scene, just was amazing.
I've been called out on this before about saying like how much I just feel the fights in Genlock, and it's like the camera's shaking. All this stuff. I'm feeling these titans fight, and that's just something I really just like seeing.
Oh yeah, that I mean, like when Nemesis flies through and then frickin' like drop kicks Chase into the crane. Oh my gosh, the weight of that particular scene, like just to piggyback off you again, Jake, like, I love that. I still want to see though. Like I brought this up a couple of episodes. What is it made out of? Like what are these guys made out of? Like they just
strong metal.
Yeah,
adamantium.
Like seriously, something like that. So I would like to see like that developed a little bit more because it's like you just got knocked into a crane, dude. Those wings are not.
Not sustainable for crane fighting.
Exactly. So, but I still liked it. It was still. I don't want to say realistic in the sense, but like it's realistic in that way that you feel the impact of the punches, you feel the impact of Kazu's sword, and the shots of like Valentina's gun and laser beams of spicy girl's eyeballs,
which is funny.
You call her by her name. She deserves that.
Yasmin. Oh my gosh, Yasmin is again top. She's my girl.
I love that Cammy gave her laser eye laser eyes because she even says it, and she's like, "Be cool if they came out of your eyes," and then boom,
boom, and she has this.
How'd you guys feel about like Nemesis ending there? Like, do you think that this like this illusion, but the fact that it alludes to there being more copies of Chase is better, or do you kind of feel that if we would have had one single copy of Chase running around, that it would be more impactful every time he showed up?
I guess that's tough. I mean, I don't know. I guess I like the idea that there could be more Chases out there, even though I feel like his story arc in this season was pretty wrapped up in terms of am I myself? Am I better than the real me? Can I overcome that? And then he does. So that like arc is complete. That circle is closed. So any more instances of more Chases out there, you just come to just repeat the same story beats. And I don't know how impactful that's going to be unless you can find like a new fresh angle to approach that storyline. Like if there's so many of them out there now, then what makes him original? What makes him new and different? I don't know, but I don't know how they can do that effectively. So I guess I'd be fine with Nemesis actually stopping here and them switching focus to something else.
Mm-hmm. I can definitely agree with that. I wanted to bring this up too, in tandem with this particular question, just because like Nemesis ending here, in terms of like the protagonist's weight on the plot, like how can I word this here? Like as far as Nemesis being a bad guy, you take your penultimate bad guy, the Joker, for instance. Everybody knows the Joker. Everybody knows how crazy he is and how much of an impact he actually has on Batman. He molds Batman into the hero that he actually is. So, like taking a look at Nemesis and like the impact that he had on the Genlock team, I don't know. for me, I feel like it didn't impact as well as if I was watching, Nemesis fight the Genlock team after he killed someone,
Right.
or caused like mass destruction. For instance, and I wanted to bring this up too because I don't blame Nemesis for Dr. Weller's death. I blame the Union. Right?
Yeah.
And I blame the Union for, doing those things to Chase. I don't blame Nemesis. So like it's in that sense, it's kind of difficult for me to say, okay, this is exactly how it should have gone. Like, I'd love to see a continuation of this, but in that same vein of thought where like the symbiotes of the Spider-Verse and how many renditions there are of the symbiotes like Venom and Carnage and Toxin and, so on and so forth. I like that idea. I am so on board for that. So if they come back at us with something along those lines, I can definitely get behind. I think that would be really cool. Like some different variants of fragmented, Chase. Like that
Like
would
a
be
blue Chase, a red Chase, a green Chase.
yeah, with similar abilities. Is that what I think that they're going to do? I actually don't know at this point. I've been so wrong in our predictions that like I I would
Sounds
be
pretty cool.
surprised. I would be surprised if we got something along those lines. I think that it would be pretty cool, but I don't necessarily feel fulfilled would be the correct word that I would want to use at the end of the Nemesis arc. I still thought that it was a cool episode, but I wanted a little bit more of that drive, what makes a hero a hero. It's definitely, I don't feel like Nemesis made Chase the hero. I feel like Nemesis just kind of highlighted Chase's traits and the Union made Chase a hero.
Okay. Well, to defeat Nemesis, Chase overgoes his uptime, and now he's permanently stuck in his Holon, which is something that they kind of say that's what's been happening to Nemesis, and that's why Nemesis is all fragmented. But they kind of give him that illusion. They give him that, Nemesis didn't have us, and Nemesis was tortured. That's why he was crazy. How do you guys think that in the upcoming seasons, how do you think Chase being stuck in the Holon is going to affect the story plot-wise?
Well, yeah, two things to that. It's like one, it's like that's the next stage of his story, right? That's why I was going to say this Nemesis storyline is I'm okay with it being wrapped up because the next stage is trying to prevent Chase from becoming Nemesis. Because so having another Nemesis running around isn't really that necessary because Chase becoming Nemesis is the arc that you focus on next. But what was I going to say? Go ahead, Anthony. That was my first thought.
We'll circle back.
Okay. Let's see. What was the? Kobe, you caught me off guard.
Sorry, I did too.
Okay, so I believe that they're going to touch on it. I think that I don't necessarily know if it's going to be like the driving point of the next season. I think that they definitely allude to that becoming an issue, with when Chase like touches his face and like, you see like that little flash. And this is something that Chase has, had a problem with because he has throughout this particular season, he's already had his identity crisis. I would hate for them to go back through and do a full new season on his identity crisis. I want to see more Chase accepting who he is and, really battling the Union first and foremost, and maybe getting a little bit of, kind of him struggling with who he is and what he really, what it really means to exist inside of this brain by itself, as kind of like a whole. So I think that it's going to be cool for them to expand on. I don't necessarily want to see a whole season dedicated to it, but
Yeah, I think the reason why it didn't hit as hard for me his decision to stay in his Holon is because I didn't really feel connected with his desire to get his body back throughout these first 7 episodes. Like he seemed pretty okay with it. I mean, I think the Miranda him relationship, like the only scene I can really call back to is when he was talking to Miranda, was like, "Hey, let's give this a try." Like he was trying to be normal again, like come by my pod. But now then he had to make the decision to leave his body behind. Because it's in a way where that's not really affecting the story. Because I thought when he was being trapped in his hole on, that meant no more holographic chase, like in front of everybody again. Like I thought he had to give that up, but he can still do that. So he still seems relatively the same exact way that he was before he made that decision, because that body didn't really have an impact in his earlier drive in the season, I think is what I'm trying to say.
It's kind of like a completion to the metamorphosis that he went through as a hero. And I think that allowing that particular change that we saw last episode, and moving it into this episode, I thought it was really killer. I thought that he did a really excellent job. Do I really think that the consequences like they really played a big part in his decision? I don't necessarily think so. It's like we already had Chase, in this digitized form. Now it's just like, okay, now he doesn't get to go back to having a body.
I don't get to go back to my half pod body. I get to stay in this awesome robot body forever. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I honestly don't care for it too much. The first one's kind of a joke, but kind of not really. Is that I was really pulling for the Miranda Chase romance, and now this kind of puts kind of flattens one of my tires.
It puts a pin in it, yeah.
Kind of. I'm like, And then, but my real one is, it kind of takes away from possible storylines of protecting, like, Chase's body, or, like, because that seemed like it was kind of, like, hinting at, like, when Sinclair shows up, he sees Chase's body, he goes, "Oh, I know somebody who would be, like, interested to know that you're still around." And then when they're escaping, they have to make sure they take Chase's body. Like, they make sure that, I can't remember the robot's name.
Caliban.
They make sure Caliban doesn't lose it, like that, and so it's like this whole, like, it's this important, like, thing, and then they're kind of just like, nope, he doesn't need it.
Toss it into the trash heap,
right? And so I'm like, I imagine they'll probably still keep it, like maybe it's then it just kind of it takes the regrowing Chase's body plotline and making it, is there a way to download Chase back into his body, like, instead? And so I feel like they abandoned his body figuratively and literally too fast. And
I could
still
that.
more like that.
Yeah.
And here, I'm kind of froze. Oh, yeah. To your first point, I do have to say, though, I immediately lost interest in this Miranda Chase romance as soon as in that opening scene when Miga appears, and then he goes like, "Oh, I made it out." It's like, "You're alive." He's like, "But what about Dr. Weller? Did he make it out?" And he makes no mention of Miranda whatsoever. Like, he doesn't even care. So I was like, okay, he didn't care about Miranda last episode. He doesn't care about Miranda this episode. He doesn't deserve to care about Miranda. I'm all for Chase and Yaz. Like,
yeah, yes, boom. Oh, there it is.
It had so much more in this episode. Because I don't understand how none of them cared about anybody else in that base. Like, they really did not touch about that. They were like, "Oh, Mikas is alive. Cool. What about Dr. Weller?" Nah, he dead. Oh, that sucks.
That's another thing, too, is there was so much affirmation in Chase's statement when he's speaking to Dr. Weller's wife. Like, "Ma'am, your husband died. He died in an anvil attack yesterday." Like, there's no question. He goes and he straight up tells her that. So then the reveal, like, of this episode, just, it wasn't.
It's redundant.
I don't know. It's exactly. I don't really feel the weight of kind of that reveal. It just, as you just said, like, it is redundant in that sense, where they didn't necessarily need to bring it up. It would have just been cool to see. It would have been cool to see the Union fight from the standpoint of, like, Migas or the General. Like, that would have been
how they got out of it.
Exactly.
That would have been cool.
That would have been cool, But that doesn't necessarily make the storyline flat, in a sense. I just think that, again, that's just one of the weaker points, in my opinion. In my opinion.
Did we see Dr. Weller actually blow up? Like,
no, it was like,
was his body there?
It was like out of the room.
Yeah,
like,
it was
who knows,
implied,
maybe the
though.
Union recovered it. Maybe he's a half nano man.
body person. Maybe he's a spy and he planned all this from the beginning. Open your eyes, you sheeple. Open them.
I keep telling you. I keep telling you.
I wish I was. I really wish I was
the
there.
new bad.
I really wish I was there. Yeah, because watching that episode, I was like, man, everything I said about Dr. Weller is just totally going to apply to Holcroft, like 100%. I was like, God damn it.
Personally, I think that I'm still on the bandwagon that it is legitimately Dr. Weller inside Caliban, and not just a copy of his brain, or not essentially like a copy. What does he say they are? That's like basically a bunch of backups.
Yeah.
So it's not exactly Dr. Weller's consciousness, but I don't believe that for a fucking second. I think that it actually is.
What's the point of having David Tennant on the show if you're just going to show up like one or two lines every episode in Caliban?
Oh, to reference something that you brought up, Anthony, pretty quickly about Genlock, with the AI programs in Red vs. Blue, Caliban is essentially Epsilon, where he's the memories of Dr. Weller developing a personality. And that's something I'm curious to see, if he'll become more human as it goes on, or if he'll definitely just continue to be like very dry David Tennant.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we get some semblance of that when they're getting on the ship. He turns and he waves to his ex-wife. I can't remember for the life of me her name. Dr. Anyways, David Tennant's ex-wife. Dr. Weller's ex-wife. That's confusing. Sorry. Yes. So when they're getting on the ship, Dr. Fatima is standing right there, and Caliban waves at her like he recognizes her. Chase is just like, "Go on the ship, Caliban. Get the heck out of here."
She's like, Caliban says don't tell her or anything about this, and then Caliban's like, "Oh, hi."
It's like, hey, guess who I am?
Yeah. Which
so
again,
that shifty eye,
and again, I would love to see it a little bit more developed, and I'm calling it now. That's Dr. Weller. That's legit. That's legitimately Dr. Weller's personality. He's just acting like a robot.
All right. Well, let's talk about something that one of us did call happening. Maybe not in the right area or for the right reason, or even what happens at the end. But I did call Leon genlocking into Sinclair's Holon, because they focused on that Holon too many times in the season. Why can't people comment about stuff like that?
I thought they were going to do something much cooler. My problem is I just don't care about Leon. When Leon's revealed into it, I had the moment of
you didn't even know who Leon was. You thought he was Jody.
I thought he was Jody. I still think he's Jody. Just convince me otherwise.
And that's so difficult too. I think that they just put so much weight into the characters of our Genlock team. They spend so much time with them that unfortunately the supporting characters are really, really, really overlooked. And I say this in the best way possible. It would have made the story that much more believable, and putting Leon right into that mech, I was like, that, okay.
It's sure, okay, I really care about Leon.
Yeah.
Thanks for adding that one throwaway line a few episodes ago about Leon was compatible, but then he grew out of it, so now it's dangerous, just so you could do it now.
Yeah. And
now he's in a coma.
Yeah.
That's
the worst part.
About that part. When he goes, he should have died or he should have been fine. But now he's in a coma, and I'm and I don't care.
Yeah,
because he should have come back and he should have been in massive pain or a massive headache, and he's like, I'm not doing that again. If they didn't want to have him do it again, but putting him in a coma, I'd say out of the three other pilots, Leon's the one I cared about the least, and so.
Yeah, make it be if it could have been Jody, then that actually could have been an important element to the Miranda, the love triangle, Chase development, because then you have someone who she chose, at the end, she chose as Jody, but then Jody dies for Chase to save Chase. How do you move on from that? How do you continue with the relationship, knowing the baggage of my last boyfriend died for you, and then for this, and that would have created some legitimate drama. Leon is the third one.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like it's not that it's I don't want to call those characters like weak in that sense, but I mean Leon, out of all three of them, I know the least about. And I guess I would argue that I know least about frickin' Jody as well. I know that he's
voiced by Chad.
Yeah, Chad James. That's it. So, I mean, on that front, I mean, I don't necessarily think that it hurt it. It definitely didn't feel like it was like our Deus Ex Machina. It definitely
I felt
didn't.
like there was enough hints to it.
Exactly.
Like, we were like, I was not surprised at all when it showed up. I was like, about time that Holon showed up.
Yeah.
In fact, I thought that they broke down that Holon to add the upgrades to Nemesis.
Mm-hmm.
But
that would have been cool.
That would have been cool.
Mm-hmm. Well, they allude to doesn't Migas allude to like them winning that battle?
No, yeah, he says they chased him off.
Mm-hmm.
Because of Dr. Weller, right? Because his bomb cracked
a bunch of them.
the nanotech and then was like, that helped them find the patch for it. I don't know, it was all technical mumbo jumbo. I didn't understand. But he's like, they beat the nanotech.
Yeah, so it was just definitely one of those ones where it it didn't make the story great, but it was no detriment to the story.
I agree.
Yeah. I wish he had a cooler weapon. Like, I know he didn't get upgraded like Cammy, but I wish he could have done something cooler besides shoot at it with a gun from a distance. Like, I mean, like do something cool with it, dude.
I like, and this is to tie into the end credit scene, because there is an end credit scene. Kinda. It's not very important. It's kind of weird. But to tie into the end credit scene, to kind of give us a hint of who the real Sinclair is, I feel like there should have been a small mod to the Holon that Leon was in. Like maybe have like a knife wrist or something. And then that way I'm curious as at least built up like a little kernel of interest into the real Sinclair's personality. I'm like, oh, why does that Holon have knives? Oh, maybe real Sinclair had something like that. And then maybe something like that. And then you get the end credits scene, and it's like, oh, Sinclair's alive. I kind of was wondering about him a little bit ago. Instead of, who is this guy? Come on, Sinclair, get it together. Oh, Sinclair.
Yeah. You know it's a fail in your post-credit scene when you have to have the character say his name out loud to the camera to remind you about who he is. That end scene was kind of... I didn't like it. I just thought like it could have been any... that mask. It could have been... I was like... sister, or maybe it's like a real actual, like we're going to see a real chase underneath that mask or something, like an actual full body chase somehow. But it's like, nope, Sinclair, who I care nothing about. Like, that does not get me excited for next season. Like, oh man, I'm so happy Sinclair is still alive. Character we've never met before.
I will say, I am with Coby when they were running around the corner. I went, oh my god, it's his mom. I was wrong. Oh god, it's his sister. Oh no, who is it? It's Dr. Weller. And then takes off the helmet, and I'm like,
what?
Who? Generic white guy. And he goes, come on, Sinclair. I'm like, yes, I was right. Generic white guy.
Yeah, what does that do for the story? Like, why is that important going forward? Why is Sinclair's presence, or trying to rescue Sinclair, is it because he knows secrets to the Union now? Because apparently he's been undercover this whole time, that he has valuable information? Or
eventually we'll let Anthony speak at some point.
Sorry,
that's okay. I'm enjoying this. I am enjoying this. You're hitting on a lot of the same points that I wanted to talk about anyway. So,
but my belief is that the Union captured Sinclair, and that him right there is that he has escaped, and so that's how come he's like underneath the mask, is that he's pretending to be a soldier, and so which again kind of isn't out of nowhere. Like they talk about Sinclair's profile about how he's like very talented and a like good soldier, and so I think he was the only one in the Genlock like previews that I don't know, don't quote me on this. I feel like he was the only one who was actually approved by like the general to be part of the Genlock program initially, and so that like you kind of get this like, oh, okay, this isn't completely random, but also I don't care.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more with just about everything that you both have said. The end credit scene comes like straight out of left field. Like I do not see it coming, and it's not in a beneficial manner that really gets me, interested in that particular character again, because it's such a small reference in I want to say it's like episode 2 or 3, when they're going through that Sinclair fight, that like Dr. Weller says it, either you're not the real Sinclair or whatever he says. But for them to put him at the end credit scene, like, I just don't care enough. I don't care enough. I went through such a huge range of emotions right there at the end. My heart was pounding. I'm like, oh my God, we're getting Chase's mom. This is so cool. What?
Yep.
And like that was kind of my reaction. It doesn't get me hyped for the next season. That's for sure. Like, if it was supposed to generate curiosity, like, not really. I feel like there are so many other scenes that they could have put at the end credits to generate more hype. And like, it's either the fact that they're going to release it halfway through this year or halfway through next year, because I don't know how long it's going to take for them to put out another season of this. Or they're going to release a teaser, like super, super late, and then we're going to get just an abrupt, storyline about how Sinclair basically escaped and then, falling right back into our Genlock team.
We could get a teaser during RTX.
We could get a teaser during RTX. That is important to kind of note, too. So, but that being said, it doesn't hold the show at a detriment. Like, it doesn't make it better. It doesn't make it worse. So that, to me, gets a pass. But it definitely, for me, doesn't generate any excitement for this particular storyline. Like, I guess it's going to be interesting. It's going to be cool, I guess. Just because the rest of this entire season was cool. They took me to places that were unexpected. They definitely introduced characters to me that were unexpected. And, they did it in an effective manner. Like, I just would have liked to see it. And it's, again, bringing up the fact that this show does a great job at subverting expectations. This one, for me, though, was a miss. I missed on that one, so...
Which is weird, because the only part of the episode I didn't like. Like, I enjoyed the entire episode, and then after that I went, I should have just skipped to the end. Because I sat, and I always sit through the end credits.
Yeah.
Of like Ruby, of Genlock, of Red versus Blue, of the finales, just because I do give that appreciation to the people who have worked on it. And then there's the end credits scene, and then I kind of was like, this is an end credits scene I won't be YouTubing later.
Oh, so cool.
Yeah.
And it was it almost felt like a mid-credit scene, like they should have popped up somewhere in the mid-credits.
Mm-hmm.
But so that wraps up our that wraps up our first season of Genlock, and like what a season it was. What are some thoughts you guys have for the future of it? Like, what's next?
Well, what's next for the future of Genlock? Hopefully it comes back. I say hopefully. It's definitely coming back, right?
Michael Jordan did tweet, it was like, come watch the season 1 finale. Ooh, like, face.
Yeah, it's definitely coming back. So now this new team is at this new lab with stealing away Migas from the general, even though he seems very valuable to the Vanguard. And I disagreed with that decision. When the general's like, oh, I'm so sad you're stealing my top engineer away. It's like, well, you probably shouldn't. So we're going to face... I want more Union story. I want to know what the Union is still fighting for. We still don't have a face on anybody on that other side, or who's sending Nemesis, or what their goal is, or what they want. And I want more Yaz backstory.
I want more Yaz.
Yeah,
all I want in life.
Me too.
But if you give the Union a better face, which I guess I hopefully by season 2 is when Holcroft is going to be revealed to be a shady individual, that he's going to be more responsible for this in some way, then maybe that will answer some questions. But as of now, I need the Union to have more of a presence, a different goal, and to know what they want and to know what they're after. That's my big thing.
Yeah. I would. Those are also things that I would like to see. Specifically, I would like to see life as, thankfully this show did a pretty great range of giving us those kind of downtimey episode, I guess, like in the sense that like we got to see the ether. I would like to see that, a little bit more expanded on.
I'm surprised Coby didn't say that.
Yeah, well, I'm done. I got all my hopes for the ether. I put all my eggs into they're doing the ether again, and then when they didn't mention it once, I'm like, fine. Ether doesn't deserve my time.
Yeah. So I would like to see that a little bit more. I want to see always more mechs. Always more mech fight. I think that's going to happen. I think my biggest prediction. I think my biggest prediction though is that we are going to get probably a split perspective season. That's what I'm going to say. I think that we're going to get the first 3 episodes are going to be split between Genlock's perception and then also through, or not, through the eyes of Sinclair as well. I think that's what's going to happen.
Okay.
Which hopefully they'll use Sinclair as kind of like a vehicle to explain a little bit more about the Union. Like there are definitely some really intelligent means of explaining or putting a face on the Union itself, actually giving us their motivation and like showing us how actually evil these people are, instead of just having just this war machine type of antagonist, or the larger driving force between most of our antagonists. So
right.
That's what I'm hoping to have resolution in that end. And just give me a kiss, dude. Just one.
You mean the new hotness that is
No,
you're wrong. Don't
false,
say that. Don't
false,
finish
dude.
this
False.
I wish I was there.
I read your
last
comment,
episode,
Coby.
so
I know you think I'm crazy.
False.
Yeah, you are. That's completely wrong.
I'm calling a big false on that one. We're seeing a Yaz and Chase relationship.
He's a
and
robot.
That's what I'm hoping
He's
for.
a robot man now.
He's a robot. She could easily do the same exact thing, dude. True love.
True love, it's fine. They're both in positions of power. They both need each other. They understand where each other's coming from. One's a former Union spy. The other one's strapped to a robot body.
Same but different. Yeah.
Same but different. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. That's what I'm hoping for. So those are my predictions.
All right. Oh my gosh, this is our final hot take. Coby, your hot takes were very hot.
They were very hot. They were just like, I want more units. Dr. Will is a bad guy. He's still alive.
He's still alive and a bad guy. There we go.
So it's still I'm still following that thread. And I still before you go into yours, I got so excited about mine because I really wanted his sister, because that plot line was so pointless to have her in.
Yeah,
and
have her
then
in the
not be referenced like ever. Yeah, you have her in the ether. So my theory was that she would come back and that she would be the one piloting the final mech somehow, some way, because of magic.
Mech magic.
or science, one of those things. So I want more sister involved in the storyline, and that she is going to become a warrior just like Chase and be on Chase's team. That's my latest take.
Okay, that's pretty hot.
Oh my gosh, that's pretty hot.
I can't touch that take. That's pretty hot. All right. For me, I think just to go full tilt into the crazy theories, because I really don't know where this is going to go. I think RTX, we're going to get a Sinclair character short. I think we're going to get how Sinclair escaped or got captured or something. We're going to get something to make you care about Sinclair, because I'm sure there's some reactioner out there who went, "Oh my god, that's Sinclair!" I'm sure there's somebody out there who thought that. But for me, I didn't care. And so I think they have to make me care for, not me specifically, but people in general care for Sinclair. So I think
they're going to say, "This is for Jake."
This is for Jake.
This one's for Jake.
And I'm not going to be in there because I know I'm not going to get into the Genlock one.
No, it's not happening this year. Sorry, bud.
Yeah. So I think they're going to do a character short just to generate hype for Sinclair's character. And so I think that's going to happen. I agree with Anthony in a sense that I do think we're going to get a couple of halves of episodes or quarters of episodes with Sinclair's perspective, to kind of give us more of like what's going on with the Union, in a hope that we kind of get more of a face to the Union. Chase's mom is still evil and still part of the Union. I don't know if she's
crazy talk.
Crazy. I don't know if she's a higher up like I've been predicting, or if she's just a person who like converted, because in the season finale they do say that you know how the people who like join the Union have that code, and so I feel like Chase's mom had that code if his sister is alive. So I think she's still part of the Union, maybe not to the extent I initially thought. And then just because, I got to throw this out there, Kazu and Valentina will grow together. They will learn to love.
Oh my gosh.
Learn to love. Nope. Learn to mutually respect one another, which
I got another one I'm throwing in. We're getting freedom fighters. We're getting the resistance. We're getting the resistance that I wanted last episode. So that's what's going to happen. That's my hot take. We're just this next season is all about the resistance or the renegades because they got painted on a ship.
Yeah, their ship's called the Renegade now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sure.
And, I guess let me think if I have one final one. Cammy's going to come up with more upgrades. Maybe not as drastic as we saw.
Dude, that's
not
crazy
a hot
talk.
take.
That's never going to happen.
That's not a hot take.
You heard it here first.
How old is Miguez?
He's at least Chase's age, in my opinion.
He's also 14.
Is he close to Cammy's age?
No, he's got tattoos.
I don't like that. I don't like where you're going with this.
Just asking. What's the age difference between Miguez and Cammy, two like-minded tech individuals who can bond over tech stuff?
I see Cammy as asexual, and she will stay that way. She is robosexual. She's attracted to her giant robot. Or robots.
Sure thing. Give that thing a mech.
Give that thing for a little rabbit thing a mech?
A little dog thing, yeah.
All right, guys.
Ooh, actually, that is going to be my hot take. She is going to build she is going to build a bigger dog thing to like assist her in battle. It's going to be like a gigantic dog.
That's
robot.
great. That would be neat.
That would be cool.
Yeah, that's my final hot take.
We got like kind of like a Captain Planet, type of essence where like they all join together, or like it focused all of their perspectives into one. I'm calling that we're getting all of them in one mech.
All of them in one mech.
Mm-hmm.
An Uber mech, like they're going to combine their
Like
mechs
Megazord?
into one super
Yeah, just like
Voltron?
Megazord.
Or Voltron.
Just like Voltron.
Yeah, we'll see about that, Anthony.
Go Genlock Rangers.
I think maybe at some point they're going to try doing what they did against Nemesis, but one of them is going to be out of sync. And so they'll be like, oh, and they'll like screw up, and they'll have to work on their melding. They'll be like,
and Yasmin has to be stuck in the brain, and Chase and her can live forever.
Will any of them die?
For her being stuck in Chase's brain.
Yeah, wrong, Anthony.
Together forever.
Will any of them die?
No.
I don't think so. I think this cast is solid, and they want us to grow with them. I think we'll lose side characters. Like, maybe we'll lose Jody. Or maybe we'll lose... who's a character I would actually be a little bummed out if they died is Henry. Henry Wu.
Pro CD.
Yeah, the guy from Artessa.
Oh. Yeah, he's like a fun dude.
Yeah, I think they could kill him, and I would be bummed out. I would be like, oh.
Yeah.
So, I think we'll lose side characters. I don't think we'll lose any main character until, like, later down the road.
Right.
Yeah.
Could see that.
Yeah.
Or maybe we'll lose Sinclair. After we start to like him. After we build up. We're like, oh my god, Sinclair! And then right when he's about to be saved and his journey's over, he gets, like, stabbed through the chest. And you're like, no!
I just don't know the plot of a story. Because, like, if you look at... Not that... I know it's weird to say, but just, like, it's like... There's such diversity on the team, like, as it is, like, for like, all these characters. I don't see Sinclair's really role, like, what he can really bring to the table in terms of... Is he going to be... Because he seems like a leader character... But we already have that with Chase.
Challenge
and
Chase,
Yasmin.
Unlike the leadership feel.
Yeah,
that would be
like,
cool.
I just don't know how, because he can't be like the strong silent character or like the dorky nerd character. Like it's all kind of settled there. So it's like I just need to see where he fits on the team, if at all.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Maybe he won't. Maybe he'll get back and he just won't want to be like a mech pilot and maybe join like a resistance force. Like Anthony.
Dr. Weller is going to go into his body, and then we're going to get David Tennant's voice in Sinclair's body, and then he's going to be like their scientist role.
It's
Boom,
perfect.
I
Great.
solved it.
It's perfect. I'm emailing Gray right now. Hey, just throw your second season.
There it is. All right. Well, I just want to thank you guys for doing this with me. It was 8 episodes of awesomeness and 8 episodes of great discussions with you guys, and I really appreciate doing this with you guys.
Yeah, it was so much fun. Happy to be here. Thanks for inviting me onto this. I know this
thank you so much for being here, Coby.
Yeah, your guys' channel is always awesome. Happy to be a part of it. Thank you so much.
All right. Anthony, how about you sign us off one last time?
Oh, ouch. I didn't...
Ouch.
Until the next season. Do you want me to say that? Until next season.
No worries. Hey, thanks so much for listening to the Genlock reviews that we've been doing. We, as you may know, love doing them, and I cannot thank Coby enough for being here from the Nerd Blaze. He does some great things over at the Nerd Blaze. Coby, what you guys doing over there?
Aw, thank you, Anthony. We don't do that great of things, but we do things. We do weekly anime reviews of, right now we're doing Promised Neverland. We also have a podcast called Anime Ricochet, where two dudes who know nothing about sports talk about sports anime. It's great. It's a fun time. But that's enough about me. Plug your own stuff, because your guys' stuff is awesome.
Thank you. We definitely appreciate the love, and I know that you just had to put up with going through a podcast with DJ over there. So again, I can't stress enough how grateful me and Jake both are, and you kind of get a semblance of what we have to go through. But as always, you can find our Twitters down linked in the description below. Please subscribe so you never miss another video, kind of like our Genlock ones. As far as any comments are concerned, we love them. We want them. How about you comment down in the comment section below your favorite part of the Genlock series, and one last hot take, just for me. Just for me. That's all I want in life.
The comment we get. Actually, the first episode was this many minutes long.
No worries.
Yeah. All right. Thank you so much for listening. We'll see you next season for a Genlock review and discussion.